Hello, fellow Americans. You are on the YouTube channel Common Constitutionalism, and I am Mitch. I talk about issues in our government, the erosion of our culture, the minimizing of our way of life, and the disregard for our Constitution. Keep your conservative voices active. Subscribe to this channel and listen as I talk about issues we are facing in our country and government. Visit my website, commonconstitutionalism.com. Enjoy reading my conservative blogs, and if you like them, maybe throw in a donation. While on commonconstitutionalism.com, go ahead and shop at the Sage Novelty Shop, where you will find shirts which feature our very own unique conservative political memes and captions. Display your conservative beliefs with pride. These items send a clear message without saying a word, or if you prefer, you can use them as a conversation starter. Come join my Facebook group, Common Constitutionalism, for discussions of topics, sharing of ideas, and interacting with others just like yourself who are proud to be Americans. Shouldn't this be a time we unify as a nation? First, I need to touch on a subject that has been bothering me for a few weeks. I have not yet heard anyone clearly and strongly stating a much needed position and advice, so I will. I have been listening to liberal news, conservative news, Democrat Congress, Republican Congress, Democrat governors, Republican governors, and other officials and individuals of unknown political affiliations, including social media. In almost all cases, I am hearing a negative but disuniting singularity in speech. This, as much as anything else, must stop immediately. Not only does it serve no positive purpose, it gives a negatively uncertain and confusing message, especially when it's coming from news sources, also state and federal officials. Seriously, the United States is in the middle of the biggest national emergency probably since World War II. Can we possibly show some national unity to get through this? When I hear President Trump say he is thinking of a possible travel ban from exiting COVID-19 hotspots, we do not need to hear Governor of New York, Cuomo, other people and news outlets making inflammatory, contradictory remarks. Governor Cuomo states Trump has no authority to impose quarantines on New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut. Cuomo is wrong. The law allowing a president to impose quarantines for public safety is called the Federal Supremacy Clause. It's under the Commerce Clause of the Constitution. When President Trump makes the comment, he would love to have the United States beginning to start back up and get going in some of the areas of little or no infection on Easter. We do not need the ridiculous responses news sources, government officials, and others have made creating fear, anxiety, panic, and alarm. I understand it is expected to have some outliers and a few who will show obvious political bias, unfortunately. However, in this national emergency, can those of you in the news, politics, and others set aside your biases and partisan politics? Quit covering your own asses and pull together as a nation. We are all in this pandemic together. To get past it, every individual must be responsible and do their part to maintain the CDC recommendations. It is interesting to me that so many people think the federal government should take care of everything. The federal government and its agencies have stepped up to lead in this pandemic. Yet we have too many people not adhering to the CDC recommendations. People and government officials alike. Daily, they argue about what President Trump says and ridicule him constantly. You cannot have it both ways. Either you want the federal government to lead or you don't. I tend to believe that the state governor should take the biggest share of the responsibility in their respective states. We should not lose sight of the fact our Constitution centers around the idea of federalism. The federal government should be there to assist and help when the states cannot handle the situation on their own. In the present pandemic, it is obvious that the states need federal help and guidance. There's no shame in that. It is just fact. I have become fed up with media news, governors, politicians, and people who apparently do not have the intelligence to understand not everything needs to be an argument. Also, those who interpret every word Trump says literally. You need to wake up, and instead of only hearing what you want, you need to actually listen to each word. When Trump said he would like to see some areas with little or no infection begin to start back up and going on Easter, the negative responses range from millions are going to die to the people will not take this virus seriously if Trump continues to contradict the scientists and professionals. I heard the same words from President Trump as everyone else. Yet not once did I think he meant by Easter literally. Because I also heard him add, I am not sure it's going to be on that date. And he also said, we will see. Come on, people, grow up. Then we have the overreaction of Governor Cuomo and the media when Trump said, I am considering a travel ban for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. I don't want to, but we will see. Once again, a lot of people came out uncorked over this. Isn't it amazing how the COVID-19 task force has issued travel advisory warning for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut? Interesting, same words, but we do not have the same backlash at them. If that doesn't make it clear it is always a Trump negativity thing, then nothing will. Can't you all just take a deep breath and calm down? Besides, I am of the opinion that people traveling over state lines, especially the people leaving a virus hotspot, is not only irresponsible, it is very selfish and uncaring. I think all states should be stopping vehicles at their state lines and turning them around. There should only be essential traveling, period. Truckers, first responders, cops, and other essential personnel should be the only ones crossing the state lines. If you have left your home within the last 30 days and are now in another state, you should be required to be quarantined there, isolated for 2 weeks, and checked for symptoms before law enforcement allows you to leave. There are areas of the country this has become a big problem. People from hotspots in New York and California and places have left their homes to get away from the infected, some by car, some by plane, and some of the more well-to-do jumped in their carbon-emitting personal jets and flew to new destinations. It is selfish and irresponsible either way, because these are areas of the country with a different lifestyle that have very low infection rates. And these people are flocking to them. Take Idaho, for example, a state that has 310 confirmed cases as of today. 113 cases are in Ada County, which is the Boise area. 115 cases are in Blaine County, which is the Sun Valley area. That only leaves 82 cases for the entire rest of the state. Why are so many infected in these two counties? The answer is simple. Boise has an international airport. Imagine that. Then we look at Sun Valley. Everyone knows it has exploded over the years as a favorite hotspot for the well-to-do to own their second or third vacation home. That should be enough information to understand the situation. Unfortunately, it shows the selfish, irresponsible attitudes money will sometimes buy. One thought to consider: the federal supremacy law allows the president to issue travel bans and quarantines to specific states or areas of the United States to help contain a medical or physical attack from spreading into other areas. If the people and the government and the governors of these hot spots are not responsible in conforming to the CDC isolation and prevention recommendations, I'm not opposed to, and I believe the president has an obligation to invoke the supremacy clause in such a situation to protect the rest of the country and the rest of the areas. Today, I listened to the Supply Chain Distribution Task Force, assembled by President Trump, talk about the quick achievements made in finding manufacturing, finding product, distributing, and re-disinfection processes during their cabinet room meeting. Hearing their discussions left me with a sense of pride. The meeting was very professional, presidential, and uplifting. I have consistently felt pride and encouragement with President Trump's daily conferences, with both the COVID-19 and the supply chain task forces. I will end on this thought. If anyone living in the United States of America with any sense at all, who understands how fast this pandemic took over our country, no one should any longer have an argument against the United States having a controlled border and stricter screening of any access into our country. Let's continue building that wall. And as always, you can read this full article and many others at my website, commonconstitutionalism.com. And your vote does matter. Vote this fall in the presidential election. Let's see what we can accomplish here. My aim is to create a loyal following so I can continue bringing awareness to these kinds of issues. We will talk about issues in our government, the erosion of our culture, the minimizing of our way of life, and the disregard for our Constitution. I would appreciate you all exploring, donating, subscribing, joining, and shopping on my sites. You will see them displayed at the beginning and the end of the videos. Until next time, this is Common Constitutionalism, and I am Mitch. Thank you, America.